What's up, YouTube? I'm Cool40 here. I've had a long-awaited time wanting to discuss this card. On the day of Trifortressops, I'm just gonna call it Tri. On the day of Tri's release, my Facebook blew up in disgust for this card. And me as a player, I'm really thinking that this card is super good. And I wanted to explain to you guys why I actually think that Tri is actually a very good card. Outside of it being a level 6 Dark, yes, you can somehow fit it into Blackluster Soldier base decks, but that's not why I'm really interested in the card. Alright, it has 1600 attack and I believe 2800 defense. But here's where its strength lies. It's in its effect. During either player's turn, if your opponent summoned 3 or more monsters this turn, that means if your opponent goes rescue rabbit and 2 more monsters, this guy becomes alive. You can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned by this way, it is unaffected by other card effects and it loses 500 defense during each player's standby phase. Now, the first thing that I like about this is, yes, it's kind of hard to summon, but as long as your opponent summons 3 monsters in some way, shape, or form, this card gets its ability to shine. So, in a dragon-based format, you're totally going to assume that your opponent's going to go Dragossack, make the 2 tokens, summon Light and Darkness Dragon. Alright, Trifortressops says, reveal, you negate lad. Reveal again. You imminently burn out the lad. So now the only thing that your opponent is going to have is a Dragossack and a Light and Darkness Dragon. And you can drop Trifortressops from your hand finally to have a 2800 wall. And your opponent can't use Dragossack to pop it. That's its first strength. The second thing that I really like about this card is the fact that it's unaffected by card effects. So once you finally drop it in that really bad key position, your opponent can't Big Eye it or Dragossack it to blow it up, and they can't even Dark Hole it. So, that's its second strong point. The third point that I really like about this card is the fact that once those conditions have been met, I can drop it at any time during that player's turn. So I can, let my opponent attack me with a key monster, and then drop it to block the rest of the onslaught because of its 2000 defense. The card is a lot more powerful than people have actually, thought it to be. And with the rumor of the baby dragons being in Tachyon, I believe this card's going to be a mandatory 3 of, just because that when your opponent goes to do those, Dragon XYZ play, Trifortressops is live all the way. So, like I said, I like it because of those 3 key points. You can't really limit it if you special summon it by its effect because it's unaffected by those card effects. That also is a downside for you, but hey, you can certainly Dark Hole it. The other thing a lot of people are complaining about, everyone's like, oh no, it just gives you 1 turn. 1 turn is all you need to set up a potential counterattack against your opponent. If your opponent commits everything to their field for the Dragossack Light and Darkness play, you're just going to blow up the Dragon or the Light and Darkness Dragon on the next turn, and then you just set up a good position from there while sitting on it. At that point, it's an 1800 wall that will absorb another attack. So, in all, it's a really good card in my opinion. It's going to be very underrated on release just because people think this card is so bad. But you have to think about it on the defensive line as well. Also, dragons also have a really big problem with Max C. So adding Trifortressops to the onslaught of Gors and Trag, the already potential threats, there's just so many more hand traps now. You basically got 6 hand traps combined with double maxi. That's 8 hand traps that will allow you to slow down your opponent's onslaught with the dragons. So I really think that this card needs to be reevaluated by certain players. I don't think it's a terrible card by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's a very good card for what's coming, and if those baby dragons are in there, I could see this card being a really powerful game changer to stop them. So, what do you guys think about Trifortressops? Do you guys think it's going to be bad? Do you guys think it's going to be good? I just kind of wanted to make this video to explain my standpoint on this card. I mean, a lot of people are thinking that they can XYZ with it. No, the card is a defensive line. It doesn't generate any key advantage, which kind of stinks. But in decks now, having a +3 is it's nothing as long as you have 1 card that allows you to turn back the duel on your turn. And I do understand that Ophion's going to be a thing, but as a side deck card that should be a 3 of, it's going to be very good. And I don't know. There's just something about this card that seems like it's going to be really good outside of that. I know people are like, oh my god, I can't XYZ with it like I said before, because it's level 6. Yeah, that's the thing. If it was 7, dragons would be playing it all day. So they couldn't do that, and it can't be level 4 for what it is. So I think 6 is good. So, once again, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I want to know what you guys have to say about this. I just feel that this is one of the more underrated cards in the game right now. And, you know, outside of this format, it'd probably be poop. But right now, this card is very good. So, alright guys, I'm out for now. Later.